Have you ever wondered what hidden signs might reveal a woman's past? In today's video, we're diving deep into the subtle yet telling behaviors that could hint at a history you never expected. Stick around, because what you discover today might change the way you view relationships forever. 99% of viewers will leave with a perspective shift they never saw coming. Before we move on, let me clear one thing: that these 10 signs do not fit on every woman. We are just talking about the majority, and exceptions are always there. Number 1, comfortable with intimacy. When a woman is unusually comfortable with intimacy, it can be a sign that she has had considerable experience in her past. This doesn't mean she's always the initiator or overtly forward, but there's an undeniable ease in the way she navigates intimate situations. She's confident, knows what she likes, and isn't hesitant to express her desires. This level of comfort can often be seen in how she communicates her needs and boundaries, without the usual hesitations that someone with less experience might display. You might notice she's at ease with physical touch, whether it's a gentle hand on your arm during a conversation or a more intimate setting. There's a natural flow to her actions, free from the nervousness or awkwardness that can accompany less experienced individuals. This ease doesn't just apply to physical interactions, but also to the emotional side of intimacy. She may openly discuss intimate topics without shyness or embarrassment, indicating a familiarity and acceptance of these experiences in her life. However, this comfort doesn't necessarily mean she's careless or detached. On the contrary, it can reflect a deep understanding of her own needs and boundaries. She might value intimacy as an important part of a relationship, understanding its complexities and the connection it can build. This awareness can be a sign of someone who has had the time and experience to explore these aspects of herself, leading to a well-rounded and confident approach to intimacy. Number 2, lack of emotional attachment. When a woman shows a lack of emotional attachment, it can be a sign that she has experienced many relationships in her past. This doesn't mean she's cold or indifferent, but rather that she might have learned to separate emotions from physical connections. This ability to detach emotionally can be a protective mechanism, developed over time to avoid getting hurt or overly invested in relationships that may not last. You might notice that she's not quick to express deep feelings or doesn't seem overly concerned with the future of the relationship. While she might enjoy spending time together, she could be hesitant to talk about long-term commitments or may avoid discussing serious emotional topics. This emotional distance can make it seem like she's holding back, not fully opening up her heart, even if the physical connection is strong. This lack of attachment could also manifest in her being comfortable with casual relationships or flings, where emotional investment is kept to a minimum. She might prefer to keep things light and fun, without the pressure of deep emotional involvement. This doesn't mean she's incapable of love, but rather that she might reserve her emotional energy for situations she deems truly worthwhile. It's important to understand that this emotional detachment is often a sign of someone who has been through various experiences, learning to manage her emotions to protect herself. It reflects a level of maturity and self-awareness as she navigates relationships with a clear understanding of her own boundaries and needs. Number 3, frequent mention of ex-partners. When a woman frequently mentions her ex-partners, it can be a subtle sign that she has had a rich relationship history. This doesn't necessarily mean she's still hung up on her past, but rather that her previous experiences have significantly shaped her perspective on relationships. You might notice that during conversations, she casually brings up her exes, either comparing them to you, sharing stories, or even drawing lessons from those past relationships. This frequent mention of ex-partners can indicate that she's been through various types of relationships, each leaving its mark on her. She might talk about the good times, the lessons learned, or even the challenges she faced, showing that these experiences are still very much part of her narrative. It's not uncommon for someone with a lot of relationship experience to use their past as a reference point, either to highlight what they want or don't want in a current relationship. While this could be harmless, it can also be a sign that she's still processing her past, consciously or subconsciously. It might suggest that she's comparing her current situation to what she's experienced before, trying to determine where you fit in. This doesn't necessarily mean she's not committed to the present, but it does show that her past is a significant part of her relationship framework. Understanding this can give you insights into her mindset and help you navigate your relationship with her more effectively. It's important to listen carefully, as these mentions of ex-partners can reveal her expectations, fears, and desires in your current relationship. If you're enjoying the video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future content. Number 4, high level of independence. A high level of independence in a woman can be a sign that she has had a lot of experience in relationships. This independence isn't just about being self-sufficient. It's about having a strong sense of self that doesn't rely on a partner for validation or happiness. Women who have been through many relationships often learn to rely on themselves, knowing that their well-being and contentment come from within, not from someone else. You might notice that she's perfectly comfortable doing things on her own, whether it's going out, making decisions, or managing her life without needing much input from others. She's likely developed the confidence to handle situations solo, and she doesn't feel the need to constantly check in or seek approval from her partner. This can be refreshing, as it means she values her autonomy and respects yours as well. Her independence also means that she might not be overly concerned with the typical relationship milestones, like constantly texting or spending every moment together. She's likely learned that space and time apart can be healthy for a relationship, allowing both partners to grow individually. This self-reliance can be a result of having learned from past relationships that she doesn't need to be in a relationship to feel complete or valued. While her independence is a sign of strength, it's important to understand that it doesn't mean she's not interested in a deep connection. Instead, it shows that she brings a balanced, mature approach to relationships where she values both togetherness and personal freedom. Number 5, avoidance of relationship commitment. Avoidance of relationship commitment can be a significant sign that a woman has had many experiences in her past. This reluctance doesn't necessarily mean she's afraid of commitment, but could indicate that she's been in enough relationships to know what she wants and what she doesn't. She might have learned that not every relationship is worth diving into deeply, or that rushing into commitment often leads to disappointment. You may notice that she's hesitant to label the relationship or to discuss future plans that involve long-term commitment. She might prefer to keep things casual, enjoying the moment without the pressure of defining the relationship. This approach can be confusing, especially if you're looking for something more serious, but it often reflects her desire to protect herself from getting too invested too quickly. Her avoidance could also stem from past experiences where she's been hurt or felt trapped in a commitment that wasn't right for her. As a result, she might now prioritize her own freedom and happiness over the traditional markers of a committed relationship. This doesn't mean she's not interested in a connection, but rather that she's cautious about where and how she invests her emotional energy. This careful approach to commitment can actually be a sign of maturity and self-awareness. It shows that she's not willing to settle for anything less than what truly aligns with her values and goals. Understanding this can help you navigate the relationship more effectively, respecting her boundaries while also being clear about your own expectations. Number 6, confident in her sexuality. A woman who is confident in her sexuality often displays a level of self-assurance that suggests she has had considerable experience in her past relationships. This confidence doesn't necessarily mean she's overt or flamboyant. Instead, it's about being comfortable with her desires, boundaries, and the way she expresses herself. She knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to communicate it, whether that's in intimate settings or simply in how she carries herself day to day. You might notice that she's at ease when discussing topics related to sexuality, whether they're serious or playful. This openness is a sign that she's not embarrassed or shy about her sexual side. Instead, she embraces it as a natural and important part of who she is. She's likely had enough experiences to understand what brings her pleasure and how to navigate her needs and desires within a relationship. Her confidence also means she's likely to take the lead in certain situations, guiding the interaction in a way that's comfortable and satisfying for both partners. This doesn't mean she's dominating or controlling. Rather, she's secure enough in herself to know when and how to assert her preferences. This can create a dynamic that is both exciting and reassuring, as she's clear about what she wants and is willing to ensure that her partner is on the same page. This level of confidence is often the result of having explored and understood her sexuality through various experiences, leading to a balanced and empowered approach to intimacy that can be both fulfilling and deeply connecting. If you're enjoying the video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future content. Number 7. Lack of insecurity about her past. When a woman shows a lack of insecurity about her past, it's often a sign that she's had enough experiences to come to terms with who she is and where she's been. This confidence doesn't mean she's boastful or dismissive of her history. Instead, she's simply at peace with it. She doesn't feel the need to hide anything or sugarcoat her past relationships because she's accepted them as part of her journey. You might notice that she talks about her past with a sense of maturity and honesty. She's not afraid to mention previous partners or experiences, and she doesn't shy away from questions about her past. This openness is a sign that she's processed her history, learned from it, and moved on. She's likely faced whatever mistakes or challenges she encountered and has grown stronger because of them. This lack of insecurity also means she's less likely to be affected by judgment or criticism from others regarding her past. She knows that her past doesn't define her current worth or potential in a relationship. Instead, she views her experiences as valuable lessons that have shaped her into the person she is today. This perspective allows her to enter new relationships with a clear sense of self, free from the baggage that can often weigh down those who haven't fully accepted their past. Overall, her comfort with her history can be incredibly refreshing, as it creates a space where both partners can be open, honest, and free from unnecessary worries about past experiences. Number 8. Open-minded attitude. A woman with an open-minded attitude often displays a willingness to explore new ideas, experiences, and perspectives, which can be a sign of someone who has been through a variety of relationships and life situations. This open-mindedness isn't just about trying new things. It's about embracing the possibility that there's always something new to learn or discover, whether it's about herself, her partner, or the world around her. You might notice that she's receptive to discussing different viewpoints, even those that challenge her own. She's not quick to judge or dismiss ideas that are unfamiliar or unconventional. Instead, she takes the time to understand and consider them, which can lead to richer conversations and deeper connections. This attitude often stems from a history of diverse experiences, where she's learned that there's no one right way to live or love. In relationships, her open-mindedness can manifest in her approach to intimacy, communication, and problem-solving. She's likely willing to try new things, both in and out of the bedroom, and she's not afraid to experiment or take risks in pursuit of deeper understanding and connection. This can make her an exciting and dynamic partner, always ready to explore new facets of the relationship. Her open-minded attitude also means she's adaptable and resilient, qualities that are crucial for navigating the ups and downs of any relationship. She doesn't get stuck in rigid patterns or beliefs, which allows her to grow and evolve alongside her partner, creating a relationship that's constantly developing and improving. Number 9. Detached approach to relationships. A detached approach to relationships can be a telling sign that a woman has had extensive experience in her past. This detachment doesn't necessarily mean she's uninterested or unemotional. Rather, it indicates that she has learned to keep a certain distance, possibly as a way to protect herself from potential heartache. She might have been in enough relationships to know that getting too deeply involved too quickly can sometimes lead to disappointment, so she maintains a level of emotional reserve. You might observe that she doesn't get overly attached early on in the relationship. She's likely to take things slowly, assessing the situation carefully before investing too much emotionally. This detachment can make her seem aloof or even uninterested at times, but it's often just a way of guarding her heart until she's sure that the relationship is worth the emotional investment. Her detached approach also means she's less likely to become overly dependent on the relationship for her happiness or self-worth. She values her independence and knows that she can be content on her own, which can be a refreshing contrast to those who may cling too tightly. This self-reliance doesn't mean she's incapable of deep connection. Instead, it shows that she values a balanced, healthy relationship where both partners retain their individuality. While this approach can sometimes make her seem distant, it's often a sign of emotional maturity and self-awareness. She's learned from her past experiences and now approaches relationships with caution and care, ensuring that she's protecting her heart while still being open to meaningful connections. Number 10. Overly experienced behavior. Overly experienced behavior in a woman can often be a clear sign that she has had a considerable relationship history. This behavior is characterized by a level of knowledge and ease in situations that might otherwise be new or uncertain for someone with less experience. She's likely encountered many different scenarios in her past relationships, which has equipped her with a deep understanding of how to navigate them with confidence. You might notice that she's quick to anticipate your needs or understand relationship dynamics without much explanation. This can make her seem almost too knowledgeable at times, as if she's been through it all before. Whether it's knowing how to handle a conflict before it escalates, understanding the unspoken cues in a conversation, or being remarkably skilled in intimate situations, her behavior often reflects a history of learning and adapting from past experiences. This overly experienced behavior can be both impressive and intimidating. On one hand, it shows that she's well versed in the complexities of relationships, capable of handling situations with a level of sophistication and maturity that comes from experience. On the other hand, it can sometimes make you feel like she's seen it all before, which might lead to a sense of insecurity or a feeling that there's nothing new or unique to offer her. However, this behavior also means she's likely very capable of building a strong, stable relationship. Her experience has taught her what works and what doesn't, and she's probably quick to recognize potential pitfalls and avoid them. This can make for a smoother, more harmonious relationship, as she's already learned many of the lessons that others might still be figuring out. Thank you for sticking with us until the end. If these insights opened your eyes or made you think differently about relationships, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest content. We're all about exploring deep topics like this, and we'd love for you to be part of our community. Before you go, Check out the videos appearing on the screen right now. They're packed with more knowledge that you won't want to miss. See you in the next one.